We'll first start with defining voice. Voice in English grammar is the form of transitive verb takes to indicate whether the subject of the verb performs or receives the action. So, example, Meenu waters the plant. The subject Meenu performs an action. The lolly is eaten by Veenu. The subject lolly receives the action. So here the lolly is being eaten by Meenu. Okay. So there are two types of voices, active voice and passive voice. Example, active. Okay, this is an example of an active voice. Sahil blows the candles. And the same sentence in a passive voice would be the candles are blown by Sahil. Okay. So we'll know more about active voice first. Active voice indicates that the subject of the verb is acting or performing an action. Active voice. Now these are a few examples of active voice. Okay. The nurse is giving the medicine. The nurse here is the subject and she's performing an action. So the action over here is giving the medicine. So giving is a verb. Krishna will read the report to the class. So here Krishna is the subject and he will carry out the action of reading. Okay, so verb is always an action noun. Okay. And next is passive voice. In a passive voice, sentences, the subject and object flip flop or get interchanged. Okay. So the subject becomes the passive recipient of the action. Here we'll read more examples of passive voice. These examples show the subject being acted upon by the verb. The medicine is being given by the nurse. So here again the medicine is a subject and is being given the verb. The book report will be given by Krishna to the class. So here the book report, that is the subject, and the verb is giving. Okay, so the book report will be given by Krishna to the class. Now here this is a short comparison of active and passive. The young waitress dropped the tray of food. Okay, so we are going to concise the statement of fact with the focus on the waitress. Okay, so in the active voice, the full focus is on the young waitress. Okay, so that's why that would come first. Okay, the young waitress dropped the tray of food. And the same sentence in passive will sound as the tray of food was dropped by the young waitress. So in passive voice, mostly it becomes a little lengthy and the focus is then shifted on the tray of food. So that becomes, so the tray of food is a less direct sentence. Okay. So here you'll see what is better to say. The supervisor has granted your request for a PE class. This is a straightforward active voice. The same is conveyed in passive voice to a weak and lengthy construction. Okay, so the same sentence we are going to now change it to a passive voice and it will change to your request for a PE class has been granted by the supervisor. So the same direct sentence now becomes slightly more lengthy. And here you'll see while converting active to passive voice, the same tense is retained. in the past participle form. So this is another example of an active voice. Okay, the children ate the cookies. It's a simple past tense. When we change it to passive voice, we will keep it to past, we'll keep it to the same past tense. We are not going to change the tense. Okay, so the cookies were eaten by the children. So the sentence still stays in the past participle. Okay, but we have only changed this from active to passive. This is a small conversion on of the a simple conversion table where you will see active voice and the same sentence changed to a passive voice. He throws the apple. This is active, and in passive it will turn to the apple is thrown. He threw the apple. The apple was thrown. He is or was throwing the apple. The apple is or was being thrown. He has or had thrown the apple. The apple has or had been thrown. So the same tense is being kept, but it's just being changed from active to passive. And the last one is he will or shall throw the apple. The apple will or shall be thrown. So you always need to remember to retain the same tense when the voice is changed. So here again there is another sentence, another example. Amina steered the boat. This is the active voice. And in the same sentence in the passive voice will be the boat was steered by Amina. Here is another example of active voice. So Roshan decorates the Christmas tree happily. And in passive voice it's going to be the Christmas tree is decorated by Roshan happily. Someone has stolen my bicycle. My bicycle was stolen by someone. Then we have is Joey Kangaroo is holding a bottle of milk. That's active, and in passive it will change to a bottle of milk is being held by Joey Kangaroo. Factories pollute the natural environment. The natural environment is polluted by factories. So with this we end our slide, and we get to know the different sentences with active voice and passive voice. So the same active voice can be changed to a passive voice with these multiple examples that are given. Thank you.